Good evening. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone in celebration of the accomplishments of this year's awardees. Your work is truly a legacy for all Alaskans. These individuals show us how the arts and humanities are powerful in moving forward and essential for building better communities and connecting Alaskans. These notable Alaskans have made unique and significant contributions, and you are an inspiration to us all. You are each highly deserving of recognition, and you have our utmost gratitude for courageously choosing a difficult path and devoting your lives to creative work. Congratulations.
Land acknowledgements are used to recognize and honor the ancestral stewards of the land where one happens to be. This acknowledgement is a simple, powerful way of showing respect and a step toward correcting the stories and practices that erase Indigenous peoples' history and culture, and toward inviting and honoring the truth. The offices of the Alaska Humanities Forum and the Alaska State Council on the Arts are located in Anchorage, Alaska, which is the unceded ancestral land of the Dena'ina Athabascan, whose stewardship once was and remains today. I invite you to pause for a moment of reflection of the ancestral stewards of the land where you may happen to be today. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Brown, Chairman of the Alaska State Council on the Arts. I want to thank you for watching this evening's broadcast of the Governor's Arts and Humanities Awards. And I want to express my gratitude to Governor Dunleavy for meeting with us back in January at the Atwood Building in Anchorage to present the awards to the individual recipients who were able to be there. Some recipients were not able to be there because of the pandemic, but they were able to have their awards presented to them virtually. And thanks to our talented staff at the Alaska State Council on the Arts, you're now going to get to enjoy this ceremony this evening and learn a little bit more about each of these arts organizations and individual Alaskans who do so much to contribute to the vibrancy and vitality of life here on the last frontier. We at the Alaska State Council on the Arts are so proud of all the many programs that we have, from our artistic license plates to the Contemporary Art Bank to the Silver Hand program to our grants to organizations and our small grants to individual artists. But the Governor's Arts and Humanities Awards are certainly among our favorite activities as well. So please help me join everyone in Alaska to celebrate these fine and wonderful Alaskans tonight. And thank you very much for supporting arts and culture in Alaska.
Good evening, Alaska. I'm very pleased to be here today to present the 2021 Governor's Arts and Humanities Awards. This is a wonderful group of individual Alaskans and organizations whose important work and accomplishments deserve notice and appreciation. The Governor's Arts and Humanities Awards was first given out back in 1968. Since then, an impressive list of fine Alaskans and institutions have been honored. The Alaska State Council on the Arts and the Alaska Humanities Forum do a great deal of work to solicit nominations for these awards and carefully consider the attributes and activities of each nominee. The proposed recipients are then submitted to the Governor's office, and I am pleased to join my predecessors in accepting the recommendation of the Council to bestow these honors. About the awards. Each year, an Alaskan artist is commissioned to create a series of unique awards to present to the awardees. The 2021 awards were created by Sonia Kelleher Combs of Anchorage, who was raised in Nome, Alaska. She has a bachelor's degree from the University of Alaska Fairbanks and master's degree from Arizona State University. She's a recipient of the prestigious U.S. Arts Fellowship, Joan Mitchell Fellowship, Edel Jorg Fellowship for Native American Fine Arts, and a Rasmussen Fellowship as well. She's also a recipient of the 2005 Anchorage Mayor Arts Award and 2010 Alaska Governor's Individual Artist Award. I'll now say a little bit about each of the 2020 awardees as I present the awards. Renee Athanas is receiving the Art Advocacy Award. Renee is a longtime Bethel resident who moved from Oregon in 1973 to teach art in Alaskan schools. Renee taught all forms of art in all three Bethel schools and was an instructor at UAF Kuskokwim campus for ceramics, fiber arts, printmaking, and watercolor. Renee received her master's degree in ceramics from the University of Puget Sound. She has had pieces in the Anchorage Museum shows and galleries in Alaska and around the country. A former member of the Alaska State Council on the Arts, Bethel Council on the Arts, and Kuskokwim Art Guild, Renee has also been inducted into the Alaska Women's Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Renee, on your accomplishments.
Thank you, Governor. My name is Laura Ellsworth, and I am so proud to introduce Renee Athanas, my friend who is a recipient of the Governor's Award for Arts Advocacy. If you are an art student, an artist, a performer, a small business owner, a Saturday market vendor, or a supporter of the arts in Bethel, then you've definitely crossed paths with Renee. Renee's steadfast commitment to the arts in Bethel and the YK Delta has been unwavering for decades. She is the reason why so much funding flows into Bethel to support the arts. And when the funding is low, she's also the reason why the show goes on anyway. Renee has a tenacious internal drive to promote artists and creators of all types. She's worked hard to consistently provide spaces that elevate local and regional artists. She is a loving mother, an active artist, a community member, a friend, a teacher, and a mentor. She is one of the most humble people I know, and this award is so well deserved. Congratulations to my friend Renee Athanas on receiving the Governor's Award for Arts Advocacy.
I want to thank the Alaska Humanities Foundation, the Alaska State Council on the Arts, the Alaska Arts and Culture Forum, and the Office of the Governor. I also want to thank Charlotte Fox for nominating me for this award. It is an honor and humbling to be included with these dedicated, creative Alaskans. Art has been an integral part of my life since I can remember. My dad was a painter and my mom an outstanding teacher. I grew up watching the Shakespearean play rehearsals all summer long at the Shakespeare Festival Theater in Ashland, Oregon. I knew early on my career would be in arts education. I've asked myself, what exactly does arts advocacy mean? I know it's important because art is what makes life come alive. It captures feelings, moments, and shares all human emotions. I believe that there is art, creativity, talent, whatever you want to call it, in all of us. The trick is figuring out how to express it and not getting misled into thinking that only certain media are considered art. There can be art in everything people do. For me, not only is visual, performing, and written art, but cooking, hairstyling, teaching, parenting, everything people do can be an art form when they put their heart and soul into it. What being an advocate means to me. It means saying yes more than you say no. It means being committed to whatever your creative outlet is and carving some time out of your busy daily schedule to do it. It means volunteering a lot at community events, school events, life events. It means supporting fellow artists and craftspersons in all of their medias, in their innovations and creative endeavors. It means helping to find solutions to problems that are roadblocks to artistic creativity and vision for oneself and for the arts community. It means that art has no limits, has no boundaries, and the only exceptions are those imposed by yourself or others. Thank you again for this award and for recognizing and supporting the arts and humanities in Alaska.
Asia Friedman is receiving the award for individual artist. She's unable to join us today. Ben Brown will accept the award on her behalf. Born in Mexico, Asia Friedman was raised in Alaska, and after graduation from Homer High School, she received a bachelor's degree at Yale University. She took time off from college to volunteer in Costa Rica, explore Mexico and the Amazon and California. She returned to Yale to learn more about history and the narratives that shape human experiences, where she minored in religious studies and majored in studio art. She studied drawing, photography, sculpture, and painting with well-recognized mentors. But her greatest teacher was her mother, painter Carla Moss Friedman. In Homer, she helped to renovate the historic Inlet Trading Post and co-founded Bunnell Street's Art Center with many local artists. She continued to work for Bunnell while earning a master's degree at Vermont College of Fine Arts. Friedman has taught art classes for the University of Alaska since 1997 and has served as executive director of Beneville. She has had 23 exhibitions since 1991, 8 of which were collaborations with her partner, artist Michael Walsh. Friedman's paintings are represented in the collections of the Pratt Museum, the Art Bank of the Alaska State Council on the Arts, the Alaska State Museum, and private collections worldwide. Accepting on her behalf is Ben Brown. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Governor, on Asia's behalf.
It's a tremendous honor to accept the 2021 Governor's Award for the Arts and Humanities as an individual artist. November marks the 30th year of my career as an arts administrator and 23 years of teaching art for the University of Alaska. What has constantly sparked and grounded me is my studio art practice and the work of artist peers. I come from generations of artists, grandparents Jake and Betty, who were painters in New York City and worked as artists for the WPA. My mother and father, Carla and Carlos Freeman, shared passions for painting and film. My sisters, Tara and Molly Lou, have been constant supporters. From a young age, I learned by copying them. My parents' sense of adventure drew them to Alaska to raise our family, where they cultivated in me a vision for community building through the arts. This has been made possible by the astounding commitment of Beneville Street Art Center's leadership, statewide members, advisors, local board members, and staff. Together, we strive to sustain and inspire Alaska's artists. All of these years, I've been looking to Alaska's artists as models for inspiration and example to do the deepest, hardest work of staying on the path. I'm thankful to my most essential supporters, my husband, Michael, and my son, Jake. Of the 23 exhibitions I've had since '91, 8 of the most recent have been collaborations with Michael. These collaborations have shaped us and brought us around the world. And my son, Jake's thirst for cultural exposure, to understand the world today and historically through the lens of art and architecture, always curious, urges me on. For all of this, I am profoundly grateful.
Jessie Hensel from Fairbanks is receiving the Distinguished Service to the Humanities Award in Education. Jessie can't be with us here today, and Ben Malott will receive the award on her behalf. Over the course of his school year at Pearl Creek Elementary School, Jessie Hensel carefully created a foundation for his students' lifelong appreciation for Alaska Native culture, their own local and global community, and the natural place they call home. Hensel has respectfully worked for years to connect his classes with an elder group at Fairbanks Native Association. Meeting with elders almost monthly, he introduced his students to many cultural, social, and natural aspects of Alaska. This time spent has enriched children's lives while firmly connecting them to the peoples and places around him. Hensel is creating a model of community-centered schools designed to connect and strengthen communities in ways not measured on standardized tests. And once again, on Jessie's behalf, Ben Malott will accept the award. Ben?
Thank you, Governor.
Hi, my name is Shawna Henderson. I'm the principal at Pearl Creek Elementary up in Fairbanks, Alaska. And it's my pleasure today to introduce Jessie Hensel, a first grade teacher at Pearl Creek, who is an amazing educator who works tirelessly to connect students to the community and work with Native Alaskan elders. So we are so fortunate to have him here, and I look forward to continue to see how he grows and shines in the years to come.
So I am Jessie Hensel. I'm a teacher here at Pearl Creek Elementary in Fairbanks, Alaska. And it is an honor to receive the Governor's Award for the Humanities in Education. I really appreciate it, but I just want to start out by saying it is a little odd to receive an award primarily for something that has been an organic partnership. And so a lot of this seems based on the work that my classroom has done over the years, meeting with elders from the Fairbanks Native Association. And that really has involved not just a collaboration between our school and the Fairbanks Native Association, but with the families and students here in the school and in the broader community. So without all of those things, this program would never have happened. It started out just with a simple invitation where I was taking the class berry picking and to learn to identify our local berries. And Yetta Bay Evans had recently come to the school to present on different ways that we could incorporate Alaska Native values and perhaps guest speakers in our classroom. And I thought, why not invite the elders along berry picking with us? So they came berry picking here on the school property, and then afterwards we collected all of the berries that the students picked and gifted them to the elders, and then had lunch with them. Shortly thereafter, the elders invited the class to attend Fairbanks Fiddle Fest with them, and the partnership has just grown from there, where we meet most months for a meal and a hands-on activity with students and their families. And that's really what the program is about, is expanding that idea of family. Growing up here, my biological family was far away on either coast. And so it was people first in Bethel and then in Fairbanks who my parents connected with, who then brought us in and built another kind of family. Not to say that that extended family elsewhere wasn't also important, but there's something about having people of all generations in your life that really enriches one's life. And I think that sharing meals is foundational to that. Thanks again. Some specific thank yous would be to Yetta Bay Evans, like I said, who helped inspire the program and then maintain things in her role here for the school district. She's now moved on to working for Molly of Denali and is doing excellent things there. Christy McEwen, who was our music teacher for years and taught Alaska Native dance to the classes that then they could share with the elders. Native Movement and First Alaskans Institute, who have done wonderful programming here in Fairbanks and around the state to help educators and community members understand their role in the community. And then in my life as a student, Kathleen Carlo, who through the Artists in Schools program taught woodworking to my 6th grade class, as well as Ron Manook, who taught wood carving and Alaska Native arts here at West Valley until he passed. And it was such a gift to get to know Paul Dean Carlo and Ralph Manook through the Elders program and the meals and events that we had together.
Since 2016, the Alaska State Writer Program has been a collaboration between the Alaska State Council on the Arts and the Alaska Humanities Forum. The program began over 50 years ago in 1963. The 2021 through 2023 State Writer Laureate is Heather Lende from Haines, Alaska. She received a Governor's Arts and Humanities Award in 2017 for distinguished service to the humanities. Thank you, Heather, for the strength and wisdom you provide through your words.
It's an honor to be here with these amazing Alaskans doing such great things. I wish we could all be together next year. I believe that a great place is defined by its culture, our spirit, when you think about it. And you're all proof that Alaska is rich beyond measure with human resources that are as varied as our landscape. As Hudson Stuck, who was the first archdeacon of the Yukon, said over 100 years ago, Alaska is many countries. And that's still true. But as Juneau poet Christy Nami Erickson writes in her poem Alaskans, which I've been quoting a lot lately, here, north is not a direction, it's a bond. It's a bond that's created by our values, which are tethered to this land and water and wildlife and our communities too, old and new, villages and cities, especially by the over 100 languages Alaskans speak, from Athabascan to Zulu, the words we use to express our appreciation, our frustration, sing, comfort, and educate. So of course, we honor an acclaimed Bethel artist that teaches Fairbanks first graders how to read, write, and sled. A Tlingit playwright who helps to bring all the pride and fun of Molly of Denali into my grandchildren's lives. A Rasmussen Foundation executive from White Mountain with a passion for preserving Inupiat languages. There's organizations and people all over the state using creative energy to entertain and teach us and build and maintain the spaces to do it in. Anybody following the news near and far, and who can help it, knows that it's impossible to separate history, arts, and culture from government. They're legs of the same table. Compassionate and creative leadership is also an art form. I'm glad that there are 2 former mayors among this year's honorees. And thank you to the legislature and Governor Dunleavy for supporting the missions of the Alaska State Council on the Arts and the Alaska Humanities Forum and these awards. I wear the stole from when I got mine at my desk to give me fortitude. And I also encourage our state leaders to use the resources of both the Arts Council and the Forum to solve the pressing issues of our time. On behalf of a long line of Alaska storytellers, creative writers, and journalists, word workers that my appointment represents, deep gratitude to the 2022 honorees for reminding us of the ties that bind. And as the late Tlingit elder David Katzik said, at a Kuiks up in Klukwan, which is just up the river from my home here in Deschutes or Haines, sometimes the biggest speech you can give is thank you. And it's a lot better if it's in the local language, which I guess means this could have been a lot shorter. So thank you. Thank you for finding the good. Thank you for doing the good. Gunas Chish, and may God be with you till we meet again.
The Alutiiq Museum and Archaeological Repository is receiving the award for distinguished service to the humanities and community. Ben Malott, Vice Chair for the Humanities Forum, will accept this award on behalf of the organization. In 1987, the Kodiak Area Native Association's Culture and Heritage Division decided to support programs to collect and share the Alutiiq arts, language, and history. The goal was to open a central repository, gathering place, and learning center focused on the Alutiiq people. The Alutiiq Museum should be celebrated as a model for any organization that wants to collect and share cultural knowledge and artifacts. The museum's work spans the globe, but the organization has a deep commitment to the Kodiak Archipelago, the museum's home, and the geographic center of the Alutiiq world. So with that, we'd like to present the award for the museum, and the award is going to be accepted by Mr. Ben Malott.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Senator Gary Stevens. It's my pleasure to introduce the Alutiiq Museum and Archaeological Repository, winner of the 2022 Governor's Award for Distinguished Service to the Humanities in the Community category. The Alutiiq Museum has been serving Kodiak for over a quarter century, creating opportunities for residents and visitors to learn about the culture and history of Kodiak's first people. Through numerous partnerships, the museum works diligently to strengthen education, tourism, economic development, historic preservation, and the arts. We are grateful for their leadership and the opportunity it provides to understand the forces that shape our community. On behalf of the Kodiak region, I extend my appreciation to Governor Dunleavy, the Alaska Humanities Forum, the Alaska State Council for the Arts, and the Alaska Arts and Culture Foundation for honoring the Alutiiq Museum. Kodiak is very proud of this small, innovative organization and its large impact on our community. Alutiiq Museum's Executive Director, April Lactonen Counselor, and Alutiiq tribal member will accept this well-deserved award on behalf of the museum.
Chimai, hello. My name is April Lactonen Counselor, and I'm the Executive Director of the Alutiiq Museum. I'm speaking to you from Kodiak, my lifelong home and the traditional land of my ancestors. The name Kodiak is derived from the Alutiiq word Kikdak, meaning island. I would like to recognize the rich history and culture of the Kodiak Island community and acknowledge the 10 tribes of the Kodiak region whose heritage inspires the daily work of the Alutiiq Museum. I would also like to acknowledge the museum's 8 founding and sustaining Native organizations from the archipelago and our many other supporters and friends. 27 years ago, when the Alutiiq Museum opened its doors, Alutiiq heritage was largely hidden in Kodiak. There were few places to learn about Alutiiq culture. Stereotypes about Native people and misinformation about our history were common. To preserve and share Alutiiq heritage, 8 Alutiiq organizations joined forces and established the Alutiiq Museum and Archaeological Repository. Our leaders sought to create a repository for cultural information and a welcoming community space for exploration. They envisioned a world where Alutiiq culture would be celebrated in daily life and Alutiiq people respected for their contributions to this state's cultural fabric. Since its founding, the museum has worked to document the Alutiiq world, reawaken traditions, and dismantle stereotypes. Central to this work is the conviction that all people benefit from understanding the culture and history of the Alutiiq people. At the Alutiiq Museum, we invite individuals of all heritages to learn with Alutiiq artists, explore exhibits, practice our language, and uncover our history. While we cannot undo the traumatic history of colonization, we can return Alutiiq traditions to community awareness. We can infuse the future with accurate, accessible information on our traditions. We can work with community partners to explore the Alutiiq world in ways that generate interest, excitement, and most of all, respect. To Governor Dunleavy and the Alaska Humanities Forum, we extend our greatest thanks for recognizing this effort. We have more work to do, but we are grateful for the acknowledgement this honor brings to our journey. Quyana Sinak, big thank you.
The Alaska Arts Education Consortium is receiving the Arts Education Award. Barbara Short, Executive Director from Fairbanks, will accept the award on behalf of the organization. The Alaska Arts Education Consortium advances teaching and learning through the arts for all of Alaska's children. The nonprofit was formed in 2003 and since then has held over 51 to 2-week teacher trainings and has trained over 1,200 Alaskan teachers. Each year they work with local school districts and cultural organizations to present these trainings. In 2022, trainings will be held in Sitka, Ketchikan, Anchorage, and Nome. Again, on behalf of the organization, I want to thank Barbara.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alaska Arts Education Consortium is a nonprofit organization that advocates for enriched arts education for all Alaskan students. The core belief of the AAEC is that higher academic achievement will occur in and through the arts. The board members are committed to support all educators to teach the arts in and across the curriculum. Congratulations to Alaska Arts Education Consortium, and I want to thank Barbara Short, our hardworking executive director, for accepting the Governor's Award.
My name is Barbara Short. I'm a longtime arts educator, visual art educator, retired from Fairbanks School District many years ago, traveled around the state working for the State Department of Education, and then I became the executive director for the Alaska Arts Education Consortium. I'm excited to be here to represent everybody on the board. In 2001, then head of the Alaska State Council on the Arts, Charlotte Fox, pulled together key arts educators and supporters and asked them to find a way to support arts and education into the future. Ultimately, the group chose the consortium model, and the Alaska Arts Education Consortium was born. Soon after that, we became a nonprofit and began our ongoing work. We work in all 5 regions of Alaska, and as you can see from the blue stars, we partner with diverse school districts throughout Alaska. And our board is representative of all these regions. This photo was taken the last time we were able to meet in person in 2019. The mission of AAEC is to advance teaching and learning in and through the arts across Alaska. And the main goal is to ensure that all of Alaska's students get the opportunity to learn in and through the arts. At the heart of our work is the teacher. We work to broaden Alaskan teachers' understanding of the role of the arts in education and their ability to integrate hands-on, stimulating, and creative art lessons in the curriculum. And our flagship event is Arts and Culture Institutes. In 2004, when we held our first basic 2-week institute in Juneau with 26 teachers attending, we have held over 50 institutes since and trained over 1,200 teachers. The last 5 institutes have been virtual, but we're hoping for in-person in the summer of 2022. Institutes have different overall topics, but are always about arts and culture integration. Each institute is planned and taught by a team of diverse teacher leaders. We attempt to incorporate traditional local Indigenous values into every institute. Thank you for recognizing the AAEC board for their commitment, and thank you for supporting arts and culture education throughout Alaska.
North Star Ballet is receiving the award for Outstanding Arts Organization. Cortland Weaver, Artistic Director from Fairbanks, will accept the award on behalf of the organization. North Star Ballet has provided outstanding arts education to interior Alaska since 1987 and enrolls approximately 200 students, mostly under the age of 18, each semester. The Creative Movement program has introduced between 85 and 105 children to music and movement every year since 1995. The 8-year curriculum in classical ballet, which enrolls about 100 students annually, provides training that enables students to pursue professional dance careers if desired. Most students go on to other careers, but their experience gives them valuable appreciation of the arts, as well as life skills, such as time management, self-discipline, and teamwork. North Star also offers performances at special times and discounted rates to serve local schools. About 3,000 students participate in this program annually, making it a significant part of the K-12 arts curriculum in interior Alaska. And here to receive the award is Cortland. Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
North Star Ballet has been working in the Fairbanks community for 42 years. During that time, they have always been outwardly focused, always keeping the big picture in mind, the mark of a great organization with outstanding leadership. In recent years, I have watched with admiration as they developed a well-thought-out plan for new staff and new facilities and worked hard to bring it off. North Star Ballet's complementary missions of education and performance provide artistic opportunities for both dancers and audiences. Over the years, they've introduced some 90,000 Fairbanks students to classical ballet through performances and classes, and consistently seek new opportunities for their dancers to learn and perform. Their students graduate from North Star Ballet having achieved self-discipline, an ability to focus and collaborate effectively, and a deep appreciation for the role the arts play in society. Congratulations to the North Star Ballet on receiving the 2021 Alaska Outstanding Arts Organization Award.
On behalf of North Star Ballet staff and the board of directors, I would like to thank Governor Dunleavy for this award for our outstanding artistic organization. And I would also like to thank the Alaska State Council on the Arts for all they do to keep the arts thriving and vibrant in the state of Alaska. We would like to thank the citizens of Fairbanks North Star Borough for making Fairbanks such a great place to live and for all of the opportunities for artistic collaboration that has afforded us since our inception as a 501c3 in 1980. We would like to also thank the myriad of foundation and corporate sponsors who have helped us keep the lights on all those years, as well as the hundreds of individual contributors that see an investment in North Star Ballet as an investment in Fairbanks. I would like to thank the North Star Ballet staff for continuous performances and classes since 1987, when our Artistic Director Emeritus, Mr. Norman Shelburne, first arrived in Fairbanks. In 1995, he was joined by Miss Sue Perry Jordan, who acted as ballet mistress and wardrobe mistress. She left us in 2016. Ruth Merriman began our Creative Movement program, which is a model for creative movement programs across the country, and she now teaches company Pilates for us. Our three principal teachers now, Wendy Walker, our ballet mistress, Elizabeth Parr, and Madeline Hunter, are all three alumni of North Star Ballet School and Company. And that is a testament to the excellence of our training as well as the continuity of the training. Our executive director, Samantha Reynolds, is a rising star in the field of nonprofit administration. And her predecessor, Ann Ruggles, along with the board of directors, did the work that allowed us to purchase Artisans Courtyard, giving us a viable home well into the future. Our board of directors is a beautiful balance of passionate and dispassionate observation, monitoring, and advice, keeping us in line, but also not interfering with the day-to-day functioning of our organization. I think that's pretty rare in a lot of nonprofits, and we appreciate that very much. Also, we would like to thank the North Star Ballet production team. Kay Mandelowitz, our lighting designer, professor at UAF Department of Theater and Film, Jim Baird, Scott Calder, and Jamie Rausch, who was our stage manager, and all of their volunteers that keep our sets moving backstage and keep them in great physical shape and getting into this theater and out of the theater. We appreciate all of that. Also, Jen Danielson, our wardrobe coordinator, and her bevy of volunteers that keep our treasure trove of costumes vibrant and maintained and fit on every dancer perfectly. Finally, I'd like to thank the North Star Ballet dancers for all of the time, energy, effort, emotion that they invest in North Star Ballet. To their families, their parents who drive them around, feed them, console them through the triumphs and the setbacks that every dancer experiences. Our senior company members spend up to 20 hours in the studio each week, and that alone is a testament to not only their commitment to individual progress, but to continuing the excellence of dance education and performance for the interior of Alaska, and making sure that that will continue well into the future. Thank you again, Governor Dunleavy, for allowing the North Star Ballet to share this honor with all of our families and partners.
They will know. They will know because we sing our mother's songs loud, voice stretched, time stamped, elongated for all to behold. They will see the pictures we painted from paternal color palettes, whisked about time and circumstance. Scribes and scribblers wrestle and write our past and present with successors' courage, clinging to batons made of DNA. They will watch us gyrate under these northern lights, across the tundra's expansive chest, over bones confined with bounce and joy. Continue creating for our heirs, marking miles around this submissive sun, telling stories remembered. They will be desperate to see their histories chiseled into mountains, carved at the bottom of totem tributes, a joist of joy. When heart and hands are summoned, surrender. Yield your limbs to process, to being, to art.
Vera Starbird is receiving the Award for Alaska Native Artist. She is unable to join us today. Ben Brown, Chairman of the Alaska State Council on the Arts, will accept on her behalf. Vera Starbird Sethquay is a Tlingit and Dena'ina writer and editor. She is playwright in residence at Perseverance Theater through the Andrew W. Mellon National Playwright Residency Program and editor of First Alaskans magazine. Starbird is also a writer for the PBS Kids Children's program Molly of Denali, which won a Peabody Award in 2020. She also has won numerous local, statewide, and national individual writing and editing awards, including the Rasmussen Foundation Individual Artist Award and Alaska Literary Award. Her full-length play, Our Voices Will Be Heard, premiered at Perseverance Theater in 2016. It was then published in the textbook Contemporary Plays by Women of Color in 2017, and also turned into a 1-hour radio adaptation that aired nationwide in 2018. So on behalf of Vera, Ben Brown will accept the award. Very good.
Thank you, Governor.
Absolutely.
Hello, I'm Vera Starbird. I'm the daughter of Linda Starbird of Craig and Dawn Starbird of Hoona. I'm the granddaughter of Gordon and Rachel James and Cliff and Marlene Johnson. And I'm so appreciative to join you virtually today. Nearly all of the work I do is centered on and about Alaska Native people and culture, and that comes from a rich foundation in the Tlingit culture I was raised in. I'm proud to be from a people who love and honor the arts and artists and see the arts as an integral part of society. Alaska Native people have struggled with the attempted destruction of our art, and indeed many of our artistic practices were made illegal by federal, territorial, and then state entities for generations. But there are always those who carry the torch, who held on to that knowledge, who carried it in secret or in open defiance. And so it is to those ancestors and those elders who I want to say with so much love and gratitude today, Goodness Chish, Goodness Chish Ho Ho. I stand today on your shoulders with your teachings and your prayers lifting me up. I am being celebrated today, not because I did so much, but because you did. The stories I tell were woven by you long ago, and I promise that I will follow your path and ensure our children have space and freedom to climb higher still. I appreciate and thank the Alaska Humanities Forum and the state of Alaska for this recognition and for the hope this award gives in ensuring that all that was taken in the past is brought back into the light. We have so many paths we walk together, and I am so grateful to be able to walk this one with you. Nan, Koyana, Gunaftish.
Richard Beneville is receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Arts. Richard passed away in May 2020, and his nephew Michael Beneville will accept the award on behalf of Richard's family. Richard Beneville was not only the mayor of Nome, an entertaining host at the finish of the Iditarod, and a strong advocate for tourism in Alaska, he was also an aspiring promoter of creativity and the performing arts. A true song and dance man, he toured across the United States in national and regional productions of Cabaret, Funny Girl, The Fantastics, and Pippin. He arrived in Alaska in 1982, and while working in Barrow, Richard hosted a radio show called Hello Central to highlight events and people in the community. He moved to Nome in 1988, and for over 30 years, Richard championed the arts and the artists throughout the area. Richard loved the spotlight, whether it was reciting the cremation of Sam McGee, singing Mac the Knife, or doing a little soft shoe dance. Richard's greatest achievement, and why he is being honored, was his ability to see and encourage the artistic talent of other people, painters, dancers, musicians, photographers, singers, crafters, and actors. Whenever someone took the chance to perform or exhibit their work, Richard would say, "You are my hero." His passion for the arts left an indelible, delightful, and lasting contribution for the people of Nome and for all of Alaska. And once again, accepting on Richard's behalf is his nephew, Michael. Michael, congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, hello, Central.
Exactly.
Thank you. It is a great honor to be here accepting this award on behalf of Richard Beneville, my uncle, Richard. I accepted today also on behalf of his surviving brother, Jack, and my cousins and all of his nieces and nephews and the whole family. But probably most of all for the family, not that he was born to, but that he chose, and those that chose him. And that was the state of Alaska, and the towns of Barrow and Nome. He always said, hello, Central. And I could go on and on about what Alaska meant to him, what the arts meant to him. But I'm fortunate enough to have today some footage that was shot. And so let's have him accept this in his own words.
I was talking about how comfortable I am in this world in which I found myself, I'm surprised at that. But one time and sometimes I didn't. And here's one of them. And I'll tell you this story. When I was up in Barrow, and I'm this old gypsy from New York, right? A couple of my friends. And as a side note, I taught tap dancing. They asked me to teach them tap dancing. And in return, they taught me how to dance, which is a very interesting thing. This dance with the weight is back, not up in the... Dance in the West is the illusion of flight with no gravity. This is the dancing is planted. So you sit on your heels and very, 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 very strong. Because the power is coming up from the earth and through you. So, and it's a whole different philosophy of everything. And I'm there, we're going to go out on this whale. Richard, there's a whale out there. We just got it. Arnold Brower just got a whale. And we're going to go out and help pull it up and butcher it out there on the ice. It's like 4th of July and Christmas all at once. Everybody in the whole village is all excited. So they get me on a snow machine, Dickie Beneville on a snow machine. What a kick. And I'm in, snow pants and bunny boots and gloves up to here, and parkies and scarves and a hat. And I had a beaver hat pulled down over my thing, and I looked like, Nanook or the whatever. I'm on this snow machine, and they're powerful, man. You get one of those between your legs, you better know what the hell you're doing. And you go, ring, 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 and they just start going. And all I could think of was this song, Swim from Sweet Charity. And I'm trooling along, if they could see me now, that little gang of mine. Wind blowing, snow blowing, me going. Oh, it was wonderful. But if my friends could see me now, they wouldn't believe it. If my friends could see me now. I don't know whether they did, but I didn't. It was a good moment for me. And those good moments were wonderful. I cherished those moments where I began to feel at ease in Alaska. I remember I said it accepted me, I accepted them, and it's been magic. Been magic.
Roy Aglowin is receiving the Distinguished Service to the Humanities Award in Education today. Roy is unable to join us today. Ben Malott is accepting the award in his stead. Growing up in White Mountain, Roy was one of the last kids to spend time around native speakers of Igalik and never left his language behind. The dialect is an offshoot of Kwaruk Inupiaq, and he has worked with team members on the Kwaruk Language Preservation Project. Roy and other team members spent hours with elders asking them to detail Kwaruk words. There is now an audio and written record of the language that will help make it accessible for generations to come. Roy is also the co-author of the Kwaruk Igalik Inupiaq Dictionary. Accepting the award once again is Ben Malott.
Thank you, Governor.
Ben.
I would like to take this time to introduce Governor Arts Award recipient Roy Apajuk Aglowin from White Mountain. Roy has been working on the Iqaluit language project for over 2 decades, culminating in a published dictionary and materials for the Kwaruk Iqaluit Inupiaq dialect. Apajuk was born and raised in White Mountain, immersed in Inupiat and Yupik cultures from his family. He started studying North-sloped Inupiat in 1984, which inspired him to learn more about the dialects in our region, specifically the Iqaluit dialect in White Mountain. Because of the impact of language and cultural loss in our region, which impacts each of our families, Roy made it one of his goals to preserve, learn, and teach Inupiat. Every effort to preserve and teach our language is critical at this time when we have so few fluent speakers. Only 3 left for the Iqaluit dialect and no fluent speakers living in the village. I am so happy to introduce Apajuk Roy to you today. Koyana.
Hi, my name is Roy Aglowin, or in Inupiat, Apajuk. I'm happy to accept this 2021 Alaska Governor's Arts and Humanities Distinguished Service in Education Award. It's an honor to receive this award on behalf of my family and all of us committed to preserving the Kwaruk Inupiat language. Koyana to Diane Kaplan, president of Rasmussen Foundation, for her undying support for Native languages and cultures, and for her nomination. The many efforts to record, teach, and preserve the Qawaraq Iqatluyk Inupiat language started decades ago by Enid Lincoln and Agnes Kumahak, who taught bilingual education in White Mountain schools, and who were followed by teachers like B.J. Gray, June Lincoln, Rita Buck, and the late Peter Buck. The Qawaraq Iqatluyk Inupiat language project I am involved with started by recording the late elders Agnes Kumahak and Stephen Agluhan in 1995, followed by over a decade of collecting words, phrases, place names, and Inupiat people names from White Mountain and Fish River families. This work culminated in the publishing of a dictionary, teaching some classes, and in the development of language material starting in 2012. I, along with my collaborator, Luann Harrelson, drafted, edited, and published the dictionary for use as reference and as a teaching tool, an effort that is complemented by the interest of many other learners and speakers today. Our traditional Inupiat culture and language is a critical point to understanding the intricacy of Inupiat relationships to one another and the very well-defined connection we have as stewards to Nunavut, our land. Our language creates a unique sense of community and bridges speakers to traditional wisdom, knowledge, events, and the way to better ourselves as Inupiat people through stories, legends, and core values. Our language gives us the tools to continue our subsistence way of life, our survival skills, and critical thinking from a uniquely Inupiat perspective where patience and quick thinking are key to survival. Again, Qayanakpak for this award.
Congratulations to this year's awardees, and thank you to Governor Dunleavy for your support of the arts and humanities in Alaska. Thank you to the friends, family, and colleagues who took the time to be part of this year's awards. And thank you to all of you for watching, and we'll see you next year.